everyone, welcome back to Crochet Delight. I'm Barbara.
Hi, I'm Connor.
And today is our anniversary.
Yep.
A full year.
Hey, don't push me. Yeah, she just recently posted a video of all, like the times we've been together since a year from now. I mean,
quite a few of them involve little her.
Yeah. It was, I actually just watched the video this morning. It was really, really wonderful. And I sent it out on a couple of platforms that I'm on, like Twitter, and later today I'm going to put it on Facebook. So you're going to get a little boost too.
But little her is in quite a few of the pictures. Because she'll be sitting on his lap at his station and she'll look at me, but then look at the screen with him or something like that.
I mean, just the other night when I was watching Dunkirk on the TV, she was like standing, like she was like doing that like sitting standing position, watching it right with me.
He was sitting here. She came up right here and literally just sat up and watched the TV with him. It was so cute. But
you kind of ruined the moment you called attention to it, because she was just like, oh.
No, she was scratching herself.
Oh.
I couldn't get a picture because she just instantly started scratching after.
Oh, okay.
But welcome back to Hot Off the Hook Friday. This is installment number 117, I believe. I think. I'll look when I go to write the actual number in. But yarn mail.
Yay.
And I already know what this is. So, and you guys are probably not gonna be all ecstatic because you've seen this before. I had to order another one because I don't want to run out of this yarn just doing the sweater. It's the puzzle yarn.
Nope.
If it doesn't fall out of my hands.
It's not falling out of your hands, it's trying to escape.
It's the Premier puzzle yarn, and again the color is cryptic. So, but I actually have some stuff this week because there wasn't much to do this week, so I was actually able to get some stuff done. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, technically 6 skeins of yarn made and 3 in the works. But first,
the new tags.
I made new yarn tags because I could not for the life of me find my original tags. They were, well, you guys have seen them. They're the oblong ones that wrap all the way around the yarn, but I couldn't find them anywhere. So I had him get my Handmade by Crochet Delight stamp, and I made up some new tags. There's a front and a back. The front has Handmade by Crochet Delight and the name of the yarn, and then on the back it has what's in it, the price, and this one's a sample because I might as well show you. This is the one that goes with it. And I have it all written down on how I made these. There's actually 3 different hanks of yarn that are in the bubble gum taffy set. But this is the little sample. And it will look completely different when it's unraveled. And I have not unraveled it because that is a perfect gradient. So I don't want to ruin it. So I have not actually seen what this looks like unraveled because this is exactly how I dyed it. I literally twisted it up and started dipping it into the dye bath. I got attached this to all 3 of the bubblegum taffy pieces. each one came out a little different. Why is there tape all over them?
Mm-hmm.
But each hank came out a little different. So as you can see from this one,
I named this one.
this one came out a little different because I did not have this like this. And I had this one the same as this big one, and it ended up like this. So these are all the same. They are bubblegum taffy. They're just done a little differently, each one. This one was the last one to be made, and this was the first one to be made. So these are actually the 3 different variations that I was able to get with a single dye bath. And it was kind of fun. And of course, as I usually do dip dye, I had these 2 big ones out of the hank. So this one was dip dyed in the hank, these ones were not. So that's why they're completely different. This one is honey mustard. Excuse the little red tie. This was a Paradise Fibers blend, but these ones I priced them at $15.99 because there's only about 100 yards, so that's for that. This was another Paradise Fibers blend. I'm calling it Rust because I cannot remember the original name for any of these. So, and I love it. It's these 2, let me get this one back up. They are a heathered yarn, which means there are multiple colors going into each one of these. Like this one, there's like a light yellow, there's orange, there's like a gray, and there's even a white in there. And this one, there's a little bit of this color in there. There's some brown, obviously red, the one you see the most. And it's just beautiful. There's just different colors going through the entire thing. Had that one upside down. And these were, these tags right here were kind of an experiment. I don't like these as much as the other ones, mainly because the face will literally just come off. So
You face peeler, how could you?
I decided not to go with the detailed one, unfortunately, and it also makes it a little harder to write. So we ended up with the full-on just llama. And then I have this one. This was the Cryptic Coradel, and that's what I called it. I called it Cryptic number 1 because there are multiple different Cryptic Coradels in the Paradise Fibers line. So I love the colors that are in this one. You guys have seen this, but you've seen it in a boucle yarn, and it's beautiful. I don't know how anyone can hate this. It's got everything in it. It's got blues, it's got green, reds, pinks, purples, everything. And then I have these and this. So I have, this is a Paradise Fibers one. I think I'm gonna call this Rainy Day. I haven't actually figured that out. And this dark green one is, I'm gonna call it Meadow. Because again, I cannot remember for the life of me the names that they gave them for the Paradise Fibers line. Oh, notification.
Oh.
It
said something about your channel.
No.
Oh, it didn't? I thought it said Crochet Delight.
No.
Oh.
No, it said a news.
Oh, okay.
And then this one, I dyed myself, and I was going for kind of a Easter theme because it was Easter when I dyed it. But it came out to be more of a light green with some coppery tints in it. So, let me see. So, these are in progress. It is about 100 yards there. This is a full 400 yards. And that was something I wanted to talk to you guys about, but I'll show you guys some of the variations. If it'll focus just right. See, there's a bunch of different colors. Let's see if this side's better. Oh, that's a lot better. You can see all the different variations of the green in there. And what I wanted to talk to you guys about is nitty-knotties. Nitty-knotties are not a concrete way of figuring out how many yards you have. But whereas my dad is a contractor, I mean, his father was the one that built the swirly staircase in the White House. So that's the kind of genius family my dad descends from. And he's pretty damn good himself. He went to Princeton. He's not stuck up or anything, so that kind of knocks that stereotype out. But he is very smart, and when I asked him to make some PVC pipe nitty-knotties, he did. But he made them exact. Can you go get my nitty-knotty?
Sure.
I've got the little donut.
Thank you.
No, it's over by the sweater. So,
Oh, right. Here we go again.
sweetie, over by my wool.
Oh. Oh, wait.
It's not over that way.
Oh,
Look over by the sweater I made. No, not that sweater, the other sweater. By the TV.
Oh. God damn it.
He can't take direction.
The thing is that you say sweater, and it's like, which sweater? There's so many different sweaters all over the place.
None of our sweaters.
Well, there's also that one you're knitting. I mean, you're crocheting right over
But
there.
that's
That's next to the coffee.
That's not a sweater right now.
It looks like one.
Even when I give specifics, he still can't do it.
Well, if you saw what it looks like over there, maybe I'd have...
Oh, that's not an excuse.
And you come up with excuses all the time.
Okay, what about at the other house in our clean room? See? So, you guys know this is what a nitty-knotty looks like. My dad took a PVC pipe and made a nitty-knotty out of it. Made it look a lot like these. And where these pieces are, he made it so that it was exactly 2 feet. Meaning the second that the yarn sits on the top of each one, it is exactly 2 feet on one side. And when you guys turn it this way, you have 1, 2, and then 3, 4. So you end up with 4 sides, so that when you put it back this way, it's crisscrossed a little bit. So I did the math for this way back when I got my wheel, and I did it with my other wheel too. I used the PVC pipe nitty-knotty that was exactly 2 feet. I took singles, and I did this a lot. I took singles and I wrapped it all the way around so it went on the entire thing, like when you have the PVC or the nitty knotty like this. So And then I did my math and figured out how many feet in a yard, and then I actually had to count how many strands were in each little section, because then I would have 4 sections with it being on the nitty naughty, and each section was 4 feet. And I figured out that 75 of those little sections, 75 strands in those sections is exactly, well, 100 yards. 300 feet for 100 yards. So, and if my math is off a little bit right here, right now, that's because it has been a good year or more since I've had to actually do all the math. But I know for a fact that this is 400 yards because I literally spent weeks doing the same exact math just to make sure that it was right. So if you have a PVC pipe nitty naughty and you want to count your yarn in singles to find out exactly how much your wheel holds as a single fully packed, I highly recommend it if the PVC pipe is exact, because if not, one of these is not going to be exact. This is not exact. This is not a foot. This is like a foot and a half, maybe. But that is the way that I know that my wheel and each bobbin can hold 400 yards in singles. It can hold 200 yards, which is half this, pretty much in half. And when you put it in a center pull ball, you're able to take the outside and the inside and ply them together, so you've got no waste.
Right.
You've got no waste whatsoever.
I was just about to say, we're also still trying to come up with a name for the color of this one.
Yes, this one does not have a name yet.
If you want to give us any suggestions in the comments, they'd be greatly appreciated.
Yeah. I had to ask him for what to name these ones.
And I went with Bubblegum Taffy, and she just had this smile come to her face.
Like, okay.
Yeah. I mean, it works.
Yeah. But, let's see, I think I'm going to have another one of these. But, yeah, the reason why I wanted to bring all that up with the nitty naughty and the measurements is because it is a good idea to know the capacity of a bobbin on your wheel. I like to fill my bobbins to the max, literally max them out to the point where, so here's the bobbin, here's the flyer. I like to fill it all this space. That space that a lot of people don't fill, that I know of. I don't think everybody fills all the way to the flyer where the yarn's actually touching the flyer and cannot hold anymore. I know that a lot of people will go just to the bare minimum, which will give you this. So on mine, this is just about 100 to 150 yards. This is exactly 400 yards. Well, approximately. I can't say that it's certain that it's 400 yards because, every now and then you might be able to get a little more or a little less. So it is 400 yards, but it could be a little more or a little less than what I actually thought. Because every time I did the measurements, it came out with a very small margin where it was either less or more. So it was mostly more than 400, but when you go to ply it, you only really count how many yards you have completed, meaning how many yards of the wool you have in a hank. You don't count it as a single, you count the plied thread. So if you have 200 yards of plied yarn, that's what you have. If you have 100 yards of singles and you want to leave them as singles, then that's that. But I'm actually very much debating on whether or not to start selling singles, because singles can be very fickle.
Are you saying that because of the right word, or is it because you need a certain word to describe that, or?
I don't know what word to say. Singles do like to break apart if you're not careful. And me, I don't care because, hey, I made the yarn myself. So, of course, there's going to be some flaws in it, but other people might feel differently. They might think, oh, this should be as good as store-bought yarn, like this one behind us.
Touch.
No, handmade yarn is never going to be exactly like store-bought yarn because it's handmade. It's made with a lot of hard work, it's made with love, it's made with care, and accidents happen. Like in the middle of winding these into center pull balls, I've had accidents happen a lot. I've had it break apart right before it finishes winding into this. And then I've had it break apart going from this to a hank.
Sorry, I was just like distracted when she was doing her scratches.
Come be a model.
She's a mountain goat.
Sophia, what's that? No?
Oh, she's climbing.
Yeah. Now all you can see is her butt. But yeah, accidents happen. So homemade yarn, handmade yarn, it's never, ever, ever, ever going to be the same as store-bought yarn. Not unless it's done in a factory like Jagger Spun Mill, which is in the town right next to mine. So, but you can have the expectations, but expect those to drop dramatically when you find out, oh no, it's not perfect, because it's never perfect. I will knot this stuff together and try to hide it when I put it into a hank. Like when I go to when I go to ply it, I'll try and hide the knot. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So, yeah. It's not like that with store-bought yarn. If there's a knot in it, you know there's a knot in it. With hand-spun yarn, sometimes we can hide those knots. Not always, but
sometimes
we can try.
Also, I was just getting licked by this little thing.
I think she's ready to end this.
She is?
Yeah, she's doing nothing but laying in a donut.
Ugh.
So,
can I just translate some that's probably going through her head? Ravioli, ravioli.
she got pampered yesterday. She got her nails clipped. And she had a sweater on because she was cold.
Mm-hmm.
But, alright. I think that's enough for today. So, have a delightful day and happy hooking, everyone. Bye.
Stay safe.